Welcome to the MicroMolar podcast, Biotech Headline Series. I'm your host, Jonathan.
And I'm Susan. We're here to break down the biggest news in the industry for you.
That's right. Today is Friday, March 20, 2026, and we've got a lot to cover, from major acquisitions to key regulatory updates. Let's start with some of the big M&A and business development news. Susan, Novartis made a significant move this week.
They certainly did, Jonathan. Novartis is paying around $2 billion up front to acquire a next-generation PI3K alpha inhibitor for breast cancer. This is a clear move to bolster their oncology portfolio and stay competitive in a very crowded field.
$2 billion is a hefty price tag. It shows that even in a tighter market, Big Pharma is willing to pay a premium for differentiated late-stage assets.
Exactly. And on a smaller scale, Embecta is acquiring auto-injector maker Owen Mumford for $200 million to diversify beyond its core insulin delivery business.
Interesting. Let's shift over to the regulatory front, where there's been a ton of activity. A big win for Rhythm Pharmaceuticals.
A huge win. Rhythm secured FDA approval for its rare obesity drug despite a prior Phase 3 failure. It really highlights the FDA's flexibility when dealing with ultra-rare diseases and shows how a company can pivot its strategy after a setback to salvage a program.
That's a great comeback story. In other FDA news, Sarepta is planning to push for full approval of its Duchenne exon-skipping drugs, even after a confirmatory trial failure. They're leaning on existing data, which sets up a fascinating test of the FDA's flexibility in rare diseases.
Right. A classic case of tension between regulatory rigor and patient need. And we also saw some political drama, with HHS refuting claims that the CDC's Vaccine Advisory Committee was being disbanded. It just underscores the misinformation circulating around health policy.
A lot of noise there. Now, for every approval, there are often setbacks. We saw a few of those this week as well.
That's right. Roche discontinued development of a muscular atrophy drug, which opens the door for competitors in that space. And Genentech halted its anti-myostatin drug for muscle-wasting diseases after it failed to show clinical benefit in Phase 2.
And that Genentech decision is raising questions for its other trials, particularly in obesity, where the same mechanism is being tested. It illustrates just how high the risk is in muscle and metabolism R&D.
It does. But one area that continues to see incredible investment is AI-driven drug discovery. The funding rounds this week were massive.
Absolutely staggering. Zara raised about $1 billion to build an AI-native drug discovery company from the ground up.
And not to be outdone, China-based AI biotech Erendil Labs raised $787 million and is eyeing a Hong Kong IPO. It just shows the immense investor appetite for these AI platforms, even when the broader market is volatile.
It's a true gold rush. Finally, we saw a serious safety alert. Intuitive Surgical has recalled some of its surgical stapler reloads after the devices were linked to 4 serious injuries and, unfortunately, 1 death.
That's a critical issue, and the FDA has issued an alert, a stark reminder of the importance of post-market surveillance. Well, that's all the time we have for this week's headlines.
Thanks for tuning in to the MicroMolar podcast. For more in-depth analysis and to stay on top of the latest in biotech, be sure to visit us at micromolar.com. Until next time.